Greg and I met at a mutual friend's party. The fact that he played violin was really charming at first because I had never really met a professional violinist, and I've played violin my whole life, so that was really exciting.
My friend always greets me by saying, "Gregoire," and there was Becky right next to her, and she chimed in, "Gregoire," and that was the first word she ever said to me.
On our first date was really sweet because for some reason I wasn't actually intimidated by him, but then when he started playing I realized that, wow, he's a really great violinist. So, and then we just had a really fun night. We ate sushi, and he's really sweet.
It was just, a nutshell of what I would come to really love about Becky. The fact that she was just so outgoing and accepting and warm from the get-go.
Gregoire! So Greg and I got engaged in November of 2009.
I had actually gone out and purchased a ring maybe 5 months before I proposed to her. And I think she had some inkling that I was starting to think about this and that maybe I had a ring somewhere in the house hidden. I got down on one knee and she started to smile, and the rest is history. And it was just this beautiful, happy time. And then kind of out of the blue, she tells me at some point that she's gone in for an appointment and her doctor, felt a little lump that she was a little concerned about. And
I got a call at work on Tuesday, and it was the nurse, and she was checking in with me to find out how the incision site was. And I told her it's fine, but it hurts a little. And then she said, this is the tough time. This is the tough point. I need to find out if you're in a quiet place and if you're sitting down. And I said, yeah. And I kind of knew what was coming. And she said, you have invasive ductal carcinoma.
And I heard her say my name, and just hearing how she said it, she didn't have to say anything more. I knew what was going on.
So he thought, he was concerned after the biopsy that, this is a really big deal, but I was like really calm about it over the weekend, thinking, oh, it's not gonna be positive. Like, how could I have breast cancer? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I got home and I opened the door, and Greg was standing right there, and we had like the biggest hug you've ever had in your life. And then we started this journey.
The conversation about how we might start a family was probably for me the most difficult part of all of this, except for, of course, the fear that I was experiencing that Becky was going to be okay.
The fertility preservation was the way we were going to give ourselves one shot at trying to have a kid. So we actually had a lot of hard decisions about, should we go right now and implant these embryos into another human being and try to have the baby this moment, because this could be our one shot. It was too much to do the live transfer. It would have been so emotional to be part of that, in addition to going through chemotherapy in the summer, and I just couldn't handle all that stress. So we decided to go with the freezing. And we were a little disappointed that we only got 4, because I was hoping for 20, but but as we know, it only takes 1 embryo, so that's what we kept holding on to. It was a pretty rough summer, but looking back, I got through it. I lost my hair. I had bad taste in my mouth. I was nauseous, all the things you can think of. But once it was over, we had a pretty amazing day at the Race for the Cure when 75 of our friends came out to be on our team. and we all walked together, and then they waited for me at the end, and it was so awesome. We got there. I had this huge big balloon so everyone could find me, and there's like 30,000 people at this race for the cure. So we get to the end, and it's on the waterfront in Portland, and they're all waiting, and I get there, and they had this like survivor lane, and it was the first time I'd ever actually taken off the scarf and just decided, if you're gonna go bald, you might as well go bald at the race for the cure. So I go through the survivor lane. I didn't really understand what was happening because I'd never been a survivor before. This was my first time doing this. And I go through, and people are giving me high fives, and I just am crying, and it felt like the best marathon ending ever. And everyone walked through, and it was like a big hurrah at the end, and it felt like a very nice closure to all of that treatment.
I'm Sandra, and I'm 27, and I'm a surrogate, a gestational carrier for a great couple. So right now we are just waiting on the arrival of the baby. We are 38 and a half weeks along. I can only imagine that the parents, Becky and Greg, they must be just constantly, they're just excited and nervous and just, anticipating the big event.
We're overjoyed and excited. We know our lives are going to change dramatically, and we're just so excited for it. We turned our office into a baby room, and it's right next to our bedroom. And we painted it green, and I think our little baby's going to be so happy in there. It's just it feels really joyous and a happy place.
But we're super excited. We're just counting down the days until Tuesday when we're going to induce, and we're just thrilled. We keep talking about what he's going to look like, and just that moment when he comes out, and meeting him for the first time, and all that.
Guess what? It's baby time.
We harvested the embryos 4 years ago. I just really didn't know if it was going to work, or I imagined maybe we'd need to turn to donor eggs or something like that if it didn't work, since we only had the 4 embryos. So the fact that everything has worked and we're finally at this point, it's like the culmination of the entire process for the last 4 years. It's pretty amazing to be at this point now.
Layers. Okay, let's get these legs back. Big breath. Hold your breath and push. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice job. I'm running underside your legs. Go again. Big breath. Go. Push, push, push. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There it is. That's 8, 9, 10. One more time. Have his head down. Seriously, these guys are living. Is his head or is he up? His head goes. Baby. There you go. There you go. Good job. Grab that little man. Say hi, Mom. See, get all the cacas out of my face.
Yeah, sorry about that baby arm, buddy.
Hi, handsome. Oh, he's got the lip roll going. Hello. Hello.
Honey, you looking?
That should be yours. Okay. Hi. See your bed?
Looking back, it feels like just an amazing 4 years have gone by, and if I was in the shoes of somebody else being diagnosed right now, it would be so important to know that this other person was able to harvest their eggs and implant them in a surrogate and have a child. And just because, you know, we got diagnosed with breast cancer, we're not, that we still can have a child biologically. And it's really important for the doctors and nurses to tell their patients all of these options so that they know that they have these choices that they can make.
We're forever grateful to Alice who started the organization, Fertile Action, and for all that she does to help people in these situations.